Hey you guys, I'm Shreya and I got so many questions related to freelance and contract in this video and I kind of lucked into it by chance, but today I'm sitting down with my friend Rajan who's done over 90 plus freelance projects, has 6 to 7 years of product design experience and is completely self-taught. Grab a notebook, grab some coffee and let's get into it. How do you find freelance work?
Okay. The problem is that the question is wrong in the first place.
Okay, you asked me the right question.
I think the first thing should be how do you build the network or the web that will get clients for you. If you're very early on in the journey, I think the closest people to you are the ones who will get you projects.
Right. How do you ask for a referral? In all 3 levels.
Okay. So here's the thing. You will have to find your first client at the first place. The first client is the most difficult, I agree, but you will have to find that first client. That can come through a friend, that can come through a founder you have known, that can come through probably a mentor who came to your college to teach you something as a guest lecturer or something. You can get that through randomly reaching out to a founder or a design team member on LinkedIn. You can get that through probably posting on Twitter that you're looking for a job. But get the first client. Once you get the first client, there comes the time to prove yourself. Try to do 110% what you have promised. If you know that one simple addition to that particular job might make it even more better, try to do that as a junior. That is getting you referrals, as simple as that. Second, once the job is actually done, the last thank you message, the way you write it, needs to have the referral angle in it. Simplest of the things, create a LinkedIn recommendation link, paste it in the last message that you send to the client. It gets easier for them. The more longer you make the process of them giving you testimonial and referrals, the more refrained they are actually.
User psychology.
Yeah. 2 things. You show them the problem they might have, or you make them perceive that you have some value to add. Now, freelancer A will say, hey, you know what? The animation actually can be made more delightful, can be made more interesting. Can I do that job for you? What freelancer B will say is, hey, you know what? The user is making a payment. The processing screen can be made more delightful so that the user sticks to the app and does not drop off. So that once this is complete and the user reaches the post confirmation screen, we can cross promote the other features you might have on the product. Right? So you see freelancer A and freelancer B, anytime freelancer B will win. The way the client will perceive your value will change drastically in the way you actually communicate the solution. As simple as that.
So now that you've said it, and then people are like, okay, I'm going to blast people I know with this, and I'm going to use AI to do this, and I'm going to. What do you say to that?
When I was a new freelancer, I thought if I have client emails, I have a lottery. What I thought, I have the database of all the emails. Let's do one thing. Write a draft email, change the names, shoot at once. I took 200 emails, wrote one template, changed the name, sent to everyone. I got 0 replies.
Why did that happen?
Nobody cares if you are a designer, nobody cares if you are a product designer and you will add value, you know what, I did this for that brand and all. Nobody cares about that.
Okay.
They only care, this is my website, you think there is a problem, then talk to me.
Okay.
The second step to this was actually going to their website, trying to pinpoint deliberate problems.
Okay.
Even if there is not just me as a designer, because there are a lot of designers who just want to critique for the sake of it. I started doing that.
Okay.
That's the biggest mistake you will ever make.
Yeah.
Because without context, if you drop certain points, the client will be like, we already knew this, we discussed all this, and then finally we launched the website, right? Try to build the context, try to understand what that designer was thinking. Even while writing the email, try to write it in a way that, hey, I understand why you did this, but you know what? While I was browsing the website, I felt that this could have been better in this fashion.
Like, does this method of outreach apply to everybody?
The method of outreach applies to everyone. I think the things that you write will differ based on how much exposed you are to the current workflows and stuff. Seniors will obviously go very much in depth in terms of pointing out things. Juniors will obviously just scratch the surface.
If someone had to look for freelance work, like what would they do in the next month to actually get something?
So let's forget that you have friends at all. Let's forget that you know any founders at all. Let's think that you stay in a room, don't talk to anyone, but you are a designer.
Psychopath designer.
Yes, think from that perspective. What I would do in the first 30 days is I'll go and try to find that database of founders that just raised, where you can find this. There are a lot of AI tools which you can simply just prompt that, hey, can you find all the latest funded startups at this range, that range, XYZ, a lot of things, and just try to build your database first. This is one of the things. The second thing you should be doing is try to find NGOs, try to find voluntary services in terms of design. That will help you build your portfolio. Obviously, they'll not pay you, but they will give you crazy recommendations. Try to find
because there are people donating at these NGOs and stuff.
Try to find these kind of places who actually need design support. If they have a website, if they have anything else, try to find these people, add them to the list. The third set of people should be agencies, and I will do this on day 1, max by day 2 of the 30 days, by the way. I'll not wait for very long.
Okay.
The collection of data is not a problem. That's done in 1 hour. You can use AI for that. It's done in 1 hour. You can start drafting. For the first set of people, what I would do, I will draft that critique email. I'll start sending it to them.
Wait, the critiquing will take time, of course, right? Like you go to website, then you critique it. Obviously, I don't think you will get through more than 5 to 10 a day.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you will start doing that. For the second set of people, the NGOs, the voluntary, try to use AI, see what problem their website has, create a website on Lovable, create something, a sample piece or something. Don't create all the 5-6 pages that they have, at least create the first page or the second page or something. There are a lot of Claude skills, by the way, that do really good UI design. Create a website, send it to them directly. If they like it, they will reply. They will say that, hey, I want to use this. Set it up for them, publish it, ask them to give you a review. Right? Now ask them to become your referral channel. They have become your referral channel. The founders are yet to reply. The NGO referral channel has started. The third is agencies. What agencies do is, not every time when they get work, they have hands for it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right? So they are always looking for people who can come from out as contractors, help them and just leave. Right? Try to find as many agencies as possible and tell them that, hey, I want some work. If you have anything for which you don't have bandwidth for, this is my work, I can help you in that.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
as simple as that.
Especially for senior designers, I think that's a really good one for senior designers.
So initially, the first 5 days I would spend in outreaching these people. I think in the first 2 weeks, you will have a freelance project in your hand. Not even 30 days.
Okay. Let's do it, guys. Try it.
The thing is that if AI was not here, I would say yes, it will take at least 30 days. Given that AI is here to actually pace up a lot of things for you, I will just squeeze it down to like 14 days or something.
That's awesome. I hope somebody tries it and lets us know.
Please give it a shot. Yeah. If you don't get a job, message me, I will give you one.
Oh! Yeah, like you're a junior designer,
Correct.
You have no experience, Now you're looking for freelance work.
So, social media, by the way, will be the simplest answer to this.
Yeah.
So, start posting on Twitter, I would say. Twitter has a very good design community support and stuff.
Okay.
It can get a little weird at some times.
What do you mean?
By weird, I mean there are people who actually genuinely give like proper critical feedback and stuff on your design, even while you are very fresher. Like literally, you just started today. You post a design, someone will comment all the 10 years of their life experience on that one particular shot that you just designed in 5 minutes.
Okay, and then you may get dissuaded and okay.
Yeah. So it might get a little difficult, but obviously there's a bunch of supporters that will come to fight for you and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, all that happens. But start posting on Twitter. If it is really exceptional, you will start getting clients from day one. But even if you don't get that, just have a presence so that people start noticing you altogether.
So
and
what kind of stuff would you
LinkedIn.
post? Like say for example, obviously like I've seen all of these posts and people like this is what I did before, A, B, C, choose one option.
So the ABC kind of posts will not get you attention from people who want to hire you. They will that post will get you attention from other designers who are
Right.
actually looking job just like you.
Yeah.
So you need to be very careful of what you're posting. So there are founders who need UX help. There are founders who need UI help. There are founders who need probably just orchestration help, where you just jump into the group. They already have a set of designers and they want you to operate all of them.
This is more of a senior,
and guide them. Yeah,
senior role
exactly.
though, huh?
It depends on you at what stage you are. Start posting that way. If you're a junior, simply start posting screens that you are creating, the work in progress, XYZ, a lot of things. If you are a mid-senior or something, start showing flows. By flows, I mean if you have created something regarding onboarding, just try to show all the 4 or 5 screens, that the cases that you have handled in onboarding.
Okay.
What if the user drops off from the email screen? What if the user entered the wrong OTP and stuff? When you're senior, obviously start posting how you that is when exactly the impact that you say 15% uptake in that, 20% uptake in that, 40% conversion, that only matters when you have actually shown the screens, you have shown the flows, then finally you have started managing certain people.
So when you just started working, so tune, how did you figure out pricing?
Depends on how much you are already earning. If you are not earning at all, then I think you should talk to your industry peers. There actually are a lot of blogs and all on Medium and stuff, or Instagram, where you will find what is the average pay of every designer.
Yeah.
So depends on the kind of project you are doing. Is it a retainer monthly, or is it one shot single scope project? Depending on that, the charging strategy might differ. Let's say, for example, if you monthly you are getting around 100 rupees, how much is it if you divide it by 30? That's your one day pay that you should be expecting. That you can divide on hourly basis. I would recommend don't do hourly basis projects. That's very unjustified of how much efforts you will put.
Yeah.
So don't do that. But that's how you come to a conclusion of this is the bare minimum of hourly rate that I am expecting, as simple as that. So find the bare minimum first. Now add an average cost of your expenses that you are actually doing on daily basis in your real life. Now we are outside of professional life, okay?
Okay.
What are our expenses? Other than expenses, are there any needs that you have? Average that out, and then finally derive an hourly value. The calculation has to be in this way, in a very logical manner, rather than just being like, that designer is charging $100 an hour, I'll charge $100. Always pitch the 2x of what you have derived.
2x.
Yes.
Okay. Even in the start.
On day
Any
one.
level.
On
Okay.
day one.
Okay. Fine. Cool. Okay.
Unless you are working for an NGO, obviously, because you'll not pitch them price.
Yeah.
Your only expectation is give me referrals and testimonials.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
How much premium can you ask for? Like, what does that depend on?
That completely depends on how the client perceives you. As simple as that.
Okay, so what?
If you present
What kind of perception will make people pay more?
the words and the depth you use while you are communicating.
Okay. How do you increase your rates as a freelancer?
Increase it to 20 to 30%
Everybody.
per year. If you think the demand is even higher, double the price. By demand is higher, I mean if you see a client coming to you again and again for a very specific thing that you have done for them, and it has actually made some difference for them, you see the buzz around it, or you see that client referring you to a lot of people back to back.
Does your pricing change based on what the client has asked you to do, or does it not matter the complexity and just on the amount of time that it will take to complete?
No, it changes. It's
Okay.
never the same. See, always set a baseline price for yourself. Never set a fixed price for yourself. That will not work out. Unless you are doing a subscription business, it will not work out. Why do I say this is, if you are building a mobile app which is just for calorie tracking, that might have less amount of cases, less amount of screens, and let's say you have a product design budget of $2,000. The next time you pitch the same $2,000 to a product which has a lot of, like for example, a fintech is coming to you. A fintech has a lot of cases involved in it. There's onboarding, there's compliance, there's KYC, there's payment things, there's utility, cross promotions, rewards, referrals, XYZ, a lot of things. If you're pitching same $2,000 for that scope as well, you're a fool.
You're making something that you've never used before, and you don't know what kind of flows would show up. So how do you price
Right.
for that?
Take in all the requirements from the clients. Sit down, do a thorough research of what all can be there in this particular product. Make it as exhaustive as possible. AI has made it easier. This is one of the cases where AI will be used a lot. Dump the meeting notes that you had with the clients into an AI. Try to find out what all cases, what all things can happen, and try to come up with an estimate of the number of screens that you need to create.
Okay.
Number of unique screens. I'm not talking about all the edge cases and stuff, duplicates and stuff. And then the core flows. Based on that, price it up. Now here also you can divide it into two parts: high effort screens and low effort screens. Low effort screens are the ones which are very normal, like the login flow, the profile settings, the referral flows. They are very normal, right? So they are low effort screens. High effort screens are ones which you need to think conceptually very deep, right?
Okay.
So what happens there is the amount of work, as I said, differs, right? So set a baseline of the number of screens. Let's say if there are 30 or less than 30 screens, this is my baseline, $5,000.
Okay.
While actually synthesizing the meeting notes that you have had with the client, if you see the number going up, then you try
So
to
you try to make
attach it.
brackets of
Yes.
the number of screens in this
Yes,
case.
and that's why in the first call you should never
Quote a
talk
price.
about your price.
Okay, so say you get a project and then you convert a client and whatnot. What would you do in the first? How would you onboard them? How would you take them through the whole thing? How would you close out the project? What would you do?
The very first thing you should be sharing with your client is the engagement guideline.
Oh, okay, what is that?
How will we engage with each other? Are we talking on Slack? Are we having meeting on daily basis? Are we having meetings once a week?
Oh.
How much time do you have to give feedback? How much time you as a client will get to give me feedback, after which I will just proceed with the next milestones.
Do you have a template for this?
I do have.
Also follow him on Instagram.
Second is when you share the contract and NDA, always have a contract from your end as well.
Okay.
There are certain clients who would not want you to sign any contract from their end, but you always do that, no matter what.
Okay.
Why? It will save you from a lot of bullshit later.
Okay.
Send the contract, and in that contract also have a part of NDA.
You as a designer are putting
Have
NDA.
a part of NDA.
Okay. Why should a designer put an NDA?
Here's the thing. The designer is not putting an NDA on the client. They are just pulling out the rights that they might need to present their work. There are two things. There is an ownership right, there is an authorship right. Right? Ownership basically who owns that particular thing. Authorship means who has actually made that.
Oh.
Who is the creator of that. In the NDA section, just mention a simple thing, that as an author, you should be able to use at least XYZ screens once the product is live to the market. Just in case your client says, I want nobody to know that you have created it, simply charge 20% extra.
Oh, okay.
The other section that I mentioned in the engagement clause was, how much time do you have to reply? What happens is, normally agencies and a lot of designers who are actually big, what they do is, they simply add one clause inside their agreement that if I am not able to deliver the work in the promised timeline, I will pay you XYZ amount. There are designers and agencies who do this.
Designers will pay.
Yes.
Okay.
There are designers and agencies who do this.
Okay.
There are companies who do this as well. So if the client is asking you to sign a contract for them, they might have this inside their contract. So please read the contract before signing it.
And what you were saying something about the dispute also, where a dispute will be resolved. What is that?
So the company that is taking the service is putting something on you that, hey, this is the problem that has happened because of you. We will have to file a lawsuit against you. You as an individual should clearly mention in the service agreement that if any kind of dispute happens, this should be fought in XYZ state, judicial this thing.
Oh.
Right? Now what happens is, if you are working with a client in UK and some dispute happens and you have not mentioned this in the clause, They have put a lawsuit against you in the UK.
And what's a good way to like close out a project?
Ask for the payment.
But you know, like, so that you leave a good impression on the client.
Yeah, see, the final handover matters. Your target should be that the developers start loving you. I know the founder is paying you, but the developers should internally keep talking about you. That is the way you should prepare the file for handover.
Okay.
That is the first step.
Yeah.
Second step is writing a very good and cool thank you note, which has to be a little friendly, but at the same time professional. Have the referral links pasted, and at the same time ask them to give you a LinkedIn recommendation. The offboarding should be a little on the request side and a little on the fun side. Also, as a side note, send what you learnt by working with them.
Oh, okay.
They will never forget you. And stay connected, I would say. Don't when you
Happy
end it-
Diwali.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. Okay, what's a non-creepy way to stay connected to someone?
I normally keep monitoring where their product is currently going. Take that context, draft a message, send it to them. Hey, just saw your announcement, really great, this and that. And very nicely and subtly add a last line, just in case you need a help, I'm always here. So you have to do that.
Okay, so say for example, somebody is trying to do multiple projects in one go, or they're juggling a few things along with freelance. How do they manage their time, or what are some systems that they should have in place so that they don't lose their mind?
Build templates for yourself. If you're starting to design, have a pattern that you follow. For me, for example, if I'm starting to design, I have my own library folder in Figma. I always go to that. I have a sequence of process. I follow that, then I start working. Have a template for each and everything. A template for how to start work, a template for the first week onboarding of the client, a template for offboarding of the client, a template for how to manage finances, a template for prompts that you use regularly for AI. Try to use AI assistants as much as possible. Create your own using OpenClaw or something. They are very capable nowadays. But have these kind of systems built for you. I think that's the only thing you can do
walk
initially.
me through your system?
The libraries that I mentioned, those are basically typography systems, color systems, layouts, icons, radio buttons, input fields, etc., etc. So what I do is I have a core. I call it the headless system. Whenever I am starting to design something, I copy paste this. I change the font. The sizes obviously in most of the cases remains the same.
Yeah.
In colors, now there are two things, right? One is the UI colors, second is the brand colors. Brand colors obviously changes depending on the product that we are building, but the UI colors remain same. The white, the grays, the semantics, the error colors, the success colors, the info colors. That is already there in place. I never created anything from scratch. I just pull all of it from the templates, dump it on the file, start designing.
Right. Yeah.
So my initial groundwork is already done. Now I don't need to think about creating all these sizes and stuff. I can simply start thinking about the main workflows and stuff. So this is for the design part. The other system I have is giving weekly updates to clients. Every Friday I used to draft a message just to tell them that what I have done from Monday to Thursday and what they can expect from me the next week. Every Friday I send an update so that the client knows that okay, this guy is doing something and he's working and all. There are a lot more small systems that I do have
that you can
but
find on his channel. You should talk
I'll
about
keep
that.
sharing.
Yeah, you should talk about that.
I have not shared it yet, but
You
I'll
need
keep
to,
sharing.
because you have really good systems.
Yes.
When you're doing multiple projects, or suppose if somebody is freelancing along with their full-time job, how do you manage time doing like multiple projects?
What I used to do is
Okay.
Saturday was like assigned for freelance work. Saturday for freelance, Sunday for sanity. Full day on Saturday, I will do anything and everything that is remaining on my freelance plate. On weekdays, either have a slot in the morning for 3 hours or 4 hours, or in the evening for 3 hours or 4 hours. I think that just suffices for everything.
Wait, this is when you're doing a full-time and a freelance?
Yes.
Okay. And what about when you're doing just like multiple freelance projects?
Multiple freelance projects is simple. Either split it into first half of the week or second half of the week, or never do alternate days, by the way. Alternate days that I have tried. The context switching. So what happens is work on something and sleep in the night. The problem is being solved while you are sleeping. You wake up in the morning and you switch to another project. The answers that you have, that you just got in your dreams, are no more valid. So never do alternate days.
Is there a cap to how many projects you should take?
I mean, I would say never take more than 3.
Okay.
Also, never take all the 3 projects.
Never take less than 1.
Never take all the 3 projects of same difficulty.
Yeah.
Always have a hard, medium, easy difficulty approach.
Okay, I hope first of all this was very, very helpful. It was genuinely eye-opening for me. And if you have any more questions, drop them in the comments or follow him. And follow me, of course. And,
Guys, I did not promote myself. Sorry for the shameless plug-in.
Please do it.
My Instagram handle is Rajan Dodube.
Of course, I'll
Please
put it in the
follow me,
description.
guys. I would just like to end it with whatever I have given, एक बार ध्यान से सोच लेना. But this has worked for me and that's why I have shared. मतलब बाद में ये मत कहना कि अरे दुबे जी आपने तो बताया ही नहीं था.
Okay, I think it's a good place to end. See you in the next one.